Everybody, thanks for being part of this video. This week I did a little bit of counting. Yes, I had some time on my hand and I had to count something. I was counting how many videos do I see coming through on Facebook, Instagram, social media, everywhere on winging and foiling. Of course, I wasn't counting the videos that I saw, but it made me think, when this thing is exploding, wing and foil is exploding like crazy. So it kind of made me think, like, how many companies are already out there that are producing either wings and foils or only wings and only foils? And the number is actually staggering. Could you guess how many companies there are worldwide that are making wings? Could you guess how many companies there are out there that are making foils? Well, if you want to find out, you got to go to my website. The link is down below, and find out for yourself. But one thing I needed to talk to is a little bit about, or needed to talk about, talk to you about trends. I don't remember seeing the number of SUP producers and labels exploding this much in the early days of SUP. It was pretty much the key brands that started with research and development, and also how the inflatable board came along. So there was a lot of development. But with wings, it seems like, particularly with wings, it seems like there's somebody has a drawing in their drawer, blueprints, and there's a factory already with the machines, and off we go. You have your minimum order and you can be a wing company, it almost feels like. And I know a lot of sail-making companies have probably been waiting for another trend. We saw the windsurf fizzling down the drain back in the 90s. Kiting came along, everybody excited about kiting, but kiting never exploded, or it did explode, but not as much as they hoped, and it kind of plateaued out, or at least it's kind of like my impression. And so it seemed like everybody was like, oh my gosh, we have the wing now. That's like, it can apply to be so many different crafts, as we see from the videos on social media. So it seems to me like, when like 3 years ago we started to see the first wings around here, it seemed like somebody was just ready to pull the trigger. It was already like boom, and it was there. It's staggering. The question is, of course, how healthy that is for a market if we already in the beginning have such a saturation, and how good it is for the consumer. Of course, for the consumers it's pretty good because they have a lot of choices, but I'm thinking there can also be a little bit of too many choices. I mean, honestly, if we have too many products to choose from, now we're getting flooded with product information, with tests, team riders saying this product is better than others, go with our label. So now we have this whole competition, and it can also, particularly for the people that are just getting started, it can be a little bit confusing. I mean, when I just started winging about a year ago, and a year and a half, when I was starting to kind of like start wrapping my brain around, did it really matter what kind of wing I would start with? Probably not. The most important part was that, like, A, I have a wing that I can try it out with, and B, I have a wing that is somewhat big enough for the wind that I'm using it in. So that's like, the size of the wing is probably the most important thing for people that are getting started to buy. What kind of dihedral, and how the center strut and the tapering of the leading edges, I really don't think that matters in the beginning. The most thing that matters in the beginning is the right size, and you have a wing that is durable, because if you buy your first wing, you don't want to have to go out and buy another one right away because you feel like, oh, I bought the wrong one. And exactly that's the point. If you have so many choices out there, there's also a bigger chance to buy the wrong wing. And that's where I try to come in with the Stand Up magazine, give you guys an overview. That's why YouTube videos are so important. That's why it is good to give yourself an overview. But in all honesty, when you started out, it doesn't matter really what kind of wing exactly it is, and if the shape is a little bit more boxy, or if it's a little bit more flat on the tapering. I don't think that matters at all. What matters is that you can go out and have fun, and that you're not intimidated by all these choices. And now take this over to the foil world, where like the whole setup and the whole science behind foiling is already intimidating as it is. And I've been trying to wrap my brain around this thing for also 2 years by now, and I'm still still feeling like I don't know this, I don't know that, and every time something new is coming out, and then this is what I just thought it was good, and now that's old, and so we're really running into the danger of throwing newcomers straight under the bus. And that's a little bit of a fear of mine, that winging and foiling as a sport and as a trend, from a fun side of you and also from a commercial side of you, of course, will start pretty much where windsurfing ended, if we're not being careful. If everything is too abstract and too crazy and too overwhelming, this is not going to be a sport that everybody can participate. It's not going to be a sport like SUP, trend sport for everyone. Boom, jump on a SUP, get a paddle. You're in with the crowds. You're in with the cool people because you're on a SUP. That was like how windsurfing started. Big old 10, 12-foot board, triangular sail, boom, done. You're in, you're sailing. It doesn't matter if you were gliding or sinking or whatever. You were in with the crowds, you had it on your roof of your car, and you were part of it, and you were cool. With kiting, I don't know, more complicated. Winging, more easy. Foiling, not so easy. So we really, really have to make sure that we're doing this thing right, and that we are bringing the customer and the beginners onto the sport the right way. So they're not like, oh my gosh, there's way too much going on, I have no idea where to start. So therefore, sometimes not only the internet is helpful, but go to your local shop, talk to somebody, you have friends that are already doing that sport, that have been walking that walk. You can learn from them, you can learn from their mistakes. That's what I did. I asked around so many people, hey, can I try your board? Can you show me? Let's do a little story, let's find out. So I can learn what they have learned, and then they bring it on to you. And sometimes that is also better than only just watch a YouTube video over and over. Because one thing is for sure, like I'm trying to figure out how I can switch my feet, and I watch all these YouTube videos, but you know what? On how to switch my feet, at the end of the day, whether I watch this YouTube video on how to switch my feet, it's still darn difficult. You still have to learn your balance. You can watch a video on how to ride a bike. Nobody's going to be able to teach you on how to hold your balance. That's something you're going to have to feel and touch. So all good videos and watch and do, but you got to go out, watch and touch and feel, and talk to people about the sport, and go there and watch what people do. Like, go to the spot and talk to them, go to your local shop and talk to people that can help you more. That's my 5 cents. Watch down below how many wings and how many foils there are. I put a link in the description. You'll be boggled. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Aloha, and we'll see you in the next video.